But it strikes me that the digital world, it's becoming easier and easier and easier to replace people. I'll give you a perfect example. I want to hear what you think about this. AI influencers has become a huge craze, and it's very easy for me to create a perfect woman, video, photo. I can even text with her. You know, is that going to completely upend the entire way that people date and meet? And is the entire influencer culture doomed because of AI influencers?
Yeah, it reminds me of what was it, like a Jake Gyllenhaal movie where I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal, or it might have been somebody else. No. Anyway, an actor who fell in love
Phoenix.
With, Joaquin Phoenix. Who fell in love with like the AI kind of Siri like version in his house. It's interesting, you know, where I think the problem is it's so easy to do now that a lot of people are creating these AI influencers, these perfect men and women who essentially take advantage of people in their loneliness today. And that's not okay, in my opinion, and are making money off of that, right? They're monetizing these things, they're building audiences and either selling things or running ads on top of things that are essentially fake and playing on people's lonelinesses. There's loneliness epidemics everywhere right now. Japan is under a loneliness epidemic, as just I think we all can feel in the world. So in that regard, I think it's terrible, and I think it's distasteful, and I think it's just wrong. But at the same time, with the technology that's available, imagine doing something amazing with it, right? Not using it for evil, but using it for good. Imagine an AI person who is a therapist, who is helping speak with a person about the problems that they have because they have nobody else to talk to, but it unlocks some things in their brain to help them through some tough times. Like, that is amazing. That is obviously an amazing utility. So as much as we always see, and this is with everything, right? There's always a good side and a bad side. And I'm just hoping that the good side wins, which many times it does, but also many times it doesn't. I think it depends on who gets behind this and kind of the influence that they have over people's, you know, it's up for grabs right now. So anyway, I just always try to have the half glass full kind of approach to things and try to look for those positive elements. Cause I mean, think about a lot of these changes that happened in the more distant past that were pretty revolutionary and changed the world, right? When we switched from horse-drawn carriages to get around to cars, and everybody was freaking out about that, right? And yes, people lost their jobs and it changed the world, but it also changed the world for good. It allowed us to connect more and more easily travel between places and meet new people, and those turned into other things that have blossomed in this world. So again, utility and how we use these things is going to be really important. Obviously, there's a lot of dangers, and probably this is maybe a little bit more dangerous, especially when you talk about weaponization of this kind of thing and a lot of the stuff that Elon Musk specifically is worried about. I mean, Skynet and Terminator, those kinds of things are maybe not a reality, but kind of close to that is something that could potentially happen, especially if it's in the wrong hands. So
I heard Elon say in an interview the other day that there's probably like a 10 to 20% chance that it turns into Skynet, but it's worth it. I was like, 10 to 20% is a pretty that's a pretty probable chance, brother. We've got to fix that. Just as a side note, you know, we're both fathers. We have young boys. I'm concerned that it's going to be very easy for my young kid to get roped into some weird manipulative relationship. You know, teenage years are tough as a boy. You know, you get bullied, you have a hard time, you're not picking up girls. Oh, well, you know, Gloria.ai is here for me every night whenever I need her. That's, to me, that's a challenge. Gloria, yeah. Gloria. So anyway, that's
all the right things.
All the right things. Never challenged you. And I don't know about you, but I'm a much better man because of my wife, despite that she drives me nuts sometimes.
100%. 100%. I think it's our jobs as fathers and parents and all the mothers out there listening too, to equip our kids with the right knowledge and the right experiences so that they can navigate this world that we're in. We're not going to be able to change how things are and where things are going. But we can help our kids understand it. We can help our kids deal and navigate it in hopefully the best way possible. And I think that that's all we can do. You know, and we have to lead by example as well. You know, if we're always on the phone in front of them, what's going to happen? They're going to be on the phone as well and then get access to things. And, you know, I think this is why we put the phones away during dinner. This is why in the car, we're having conversations. We're not on our phones in the car. Like, any moment that you have to regulate that, but still show and show up is going to be really important. It's one thing to just say, no, don't use that. It's another thing to demonstrate it yourself and lead by example.
Couldn't say it better than myself. I just wish that we lived closer so my boys could be friends with your boy, or my kids could be friends with your kids. You're raising some great kids there.